Hey there, I'm David.
And I'm Eddie.
And we are full-time gays, and we are here with you at Whispering Oaks Gay Campground in Hampshire, Tennessee. And we're going to show you some of the things that we saw here and give you some of our thoughts. Hey everybody, we are here this week to talk about a place that we spent a week at called Whispering Oaks.
In Hampshire, Tennessee.
Hampshire, Tennessee. Where is Hampshire, Tennessee?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Directly north of Birmingham, like an hour and change south of Nashville. In the mountains, gorgeous. Well, mountains.
Mountains, yeah.
Yeah, still gorgeous, still gorgeous. So yeah, it was the second week of our 10-week road trip. We're going around the country right now, and we had a decent time at Whispering Oaks overall. And what we're gonna do in this video is just kind of rate a few of the things that we found that are important to us. Maybe they'll be important to you too, maybe not, I hope they are. But we have a big, huge 43.5-foot fifth wheel. And so it's important, things like, is it big rig friendly? It's also important to understand, like, what's the vibe like, and
what kind of facilities do they offer for their guests. And for us, being remote employees, we also have to be very concerned about our internet signal and how strong that is.
So let's get started, shall we? The first thing was
big rig friendliness.
Big rig friendliness. You want to take that?
Sure, why not? So getting to the park. Roads are nicely paved and everything, but it is kind of coming up a bit of a mountain, so we've got some curvy, blind curves on hills. They were a little concerning. Luckily, traffic wasn't that bad, so we were able to manage just fine. However, something that you pointed out is on their new website, they don't give you directions into the park. And there is one way that you basically have to make a U-turn to make the left turn onto the road, and I don't think we would have made it at all, to be honest.
Yeah, no, luckily they have an older version of the website that you can link to from their current website. I happened to have first checked them out when it was a different website, so I was like, oh, okay, let me go to there. And if it weren't for that page that did have directions, even Google Maps, it's tough to gauge, you know, like ascents and descents and stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, getting into the park, the roads are maintained dirt or gravel driveways. Pretty typical of a park. Several low-hanging branches, a few that we actually scraped on, which is not very nice to have to deal with. The first site they gave us, they said it was big rig friendly, and no, not at all.
Nope.
What was nice, it was a pull through. So if we were able to get in there, it would have been great. We chose a different site. It was a pull through, but there was such an incline to the back side of it that we decided to just back in anyway. But pretty narrow, tight sites.
Yeah, very, very narrow. In fact, we were on a site right next to the owners, and yeah, they were narrow. And their pull through, I guess by definition, but the incline is so steep on one end of it that, you know, I wouldn't have dared.
No, not at all. Not even tried it.
Yeah, so we effectively had to back it in, which was fine.
Yeah. So I guess on the rating of the big rig friendly, what would you give it?
4?
Yeah, I almost want to give them a 5 because they have the pull throughs, but the pull throughs are not even usable. So
some of them are better than others.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it a 4 as well.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do on the side of a mountain.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
All right, so there's big rig friendliness. We both give it a 4.
Perfect.
All right.
What do you want to talk about next?
The facilities.
Facilities. Yeah, so Whispering Oak is a huge park, something like 300, 400 something acres, with lots of trails, which were really cool to go check out. Didn't do all the trails because no one had walked through there for a while, and there was just spider web like every 2 feet.
Spider. Okay, so we're giving up on the hike. There's just too many spiders. Every few feet there'd be like a spider web, and then right in the middle of the trail was this big honking spider. And for every one that we saw, there were like 3 that we didn't catch in time. And so now we're all sticky. So
yeah, no, it's not happening. Going back to have the cocktail.
Yep, enough nature.
So we kind of gave up on that and went back. The rest of the facilities, though, they have a small but heated pool.
Mm-hmm.
They have a hot tub.
It's not that small.
Yeah,
It's decent.
Exactly.
Perfectly fine.
The rest of the facilities, they have a bunch of cabins that they utilize for their fun stuff. So like there's a dining hall, which is, you know, a big huge patio, but it's screened in so you can stay out of the bugs. They had like one cabin that was just for like movies, another cabin that was just for games. So, you know, lots of other things to do there. They have volleyball court, so plenty of facilities to enjoy your stay there.
Yeah, I agree. The facilities were the best part about the place. They were really, really nice. And numerous, like lots of different things. They had a dedicated office. They've had a memorial garden, which was beautiful. They had a couple of decks kind of like over the edge of the mountain. They have the trail system, which is huge, and like multiple miles of trails. In addition to that, there were almost too many amenities, like too many facilities for the amount of people we saw. But it wasn't the busiest weekend, to be fair. Hurricane Laura, had graced us with her presence. You know, it wasn't windy. Well, it was actually really windy one day, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, it was a lot of winds, but nothing like you know what they got in the Gulf Coast. And we got lots and lots of rain. But no, there's a lot of really nice facilities. They've got not just the pool, they got lots of pavilions. They've got all those cabins you talked about. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was a great place. So on the facilities, I'm going to give it an 8.
Yeah, if not a 9. In fact, I will go with a 9 because they've got more creature comfort amenities from a facility standpoint than most any gay campground we've ever been to. It was really, really good.
Perfect. All right. I did 8, you did 9, so it's an 8.5.
8.5.
Perfect. All right, so what's next?
The vibe.
There you go. You want to take that one?
Okay. So so the vibe is the tricky one, right? Because it's super subjective. It changes from week to week. It changes based on perspectives of different people. So we're just going to do our best to explain, what we experienced, which was good. I mean, there was a nice, really, really close-knit community there. Plenty of folks that were residents that lived there full time. There were lots of those rental cabins, but I think a lot of those were owned.
Yeah, that's what I remember someone telling us.
Yeah.
A lot of people owned those cabins, and they were their cabins for whenever they want to come out.
Right. And because there was that storm, and it was super rainy and super windy, and yes, I got a weather station because I wanted to quantify that rain. But
it was also a weekend before a major holiday weekend, so
True.
That's pretty typical that it'll be a very slow weekend.
Yeah, it was a pretty slow weekend, but there was still folks there. There were still people that came in addition to the residents. When I say close-knit community, it's really close-knit. Like, there's this picnic table under a pavilion where almost at any time, day or night, you can find people just sitting there shooting the breeze.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really awesome. And, this is still the Bible Belt. This is still really conservative, Southern kind of culture, at least in our experience, what we saw. And I think the crowd reflected that to a degree, and because of that, and that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. It gave them the community. This is my sense that it gave them the community that maybe some of them weren't able to find elsewhere, and you can't put a price on that. So it was really awesome. It was rustic. And I think that spread to the culture too, and again, not a bad thing. It's not full of Dallas queens.
You want to put that in there?
Yes, we used to live in Dallas. It is not full of Dallas queens.
All right, so what do you want to score the vibe?
7.
Yeah, I want to give them a 6 just because it was so slow and we didn't really get a chance to meet a whole lot of folks, but I don't want to ping them on that, so I'm also going to go with 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Glad you followed the right answer.
Rude.
All right, internet, take us home.
All right, so internet there. Talking to folks in the park, Verizon is pretty much the only thing that's going to work there.
Or at least the best.
Yeah. And using the word best is, kind of hard to do. Again, we work remotely, so we really rely on that signal. I was not able to make my internet phone calls that week for work. We were able to get by with doing some of the simpler things on our computers, on our tablets, phones, stream stuff on very low quality.
The WeBoost helps some.
The WeBoost does help, yeah. But, gosh, I don't know how much more I can talk about that, but I'm going to give it like a 3.
Okay. Yeah, ditto. One good thing, though, is the manager, John, told us that they're getting ready to have, fiber installed there. And if that's true, and they get the right repeaters and everything else, that would ixnay any of the internet issues, which would be awesome. There's a few gay campgrounds that we know of that are going super high-speed internet here in the next few months. Grizzly Pines is one.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another place too. I can't. Buckwood up in Indiana.
Yeah, that's correct.
They're getting ready to install fiber too. So that will negate a lot of the issues that full-timers like us have, because it'll be there and they'll have gigabit speeds, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
And, yeah, hopefully. And it would be good. But yeah, what do we give it?
I gave it a 3. You haven't given your score yet.
4.
Okay.
It worked. It wasn't non-existent. It was just slow.
Right.
Okay.
So, would you go back to Whispering Oaks?
Yeah, I would. Especially if they get the internet going. That was, for us, kind of a bigger deal. It's not the most big rig friendly place, but it's not impossible. It's it's just how much stress
Right.
do you want getting in and out? If you can handle a little bit of tension and being a little extra careful, it is in the mountains, and so it can't be expected to be flat.
Right, and those mountains are a pro and a con, because it's the con of getting your rig in there, but the pro is you get to enjoy that scenery.
It's gorgeous scenery. So yeah, it wouldn't maybe be my first choice of a place to go back to, but it wouldn't be my last. So we'd probably look for something else first.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I'm not going to put it on my can't wait to get back to list, but I wouldn't oppose to going again, especially if it had some kind of special event weekend or something that was really interesting.
Yeah.
I might go ahead and say, hey, let's take a trip up there again.
And one of the nice things about that place, though, is that it is open all year.
Yes.
And that's, we're Tennessee, so we're kind of in that borderline area where, it gets pretty darn cold here, but it's not like Michigan.
Right.
And so, when we decide to plan our January through February trip, maybe if they have internet, it might go up higher on our list because it is open all year long. And I'd kind of like to see some snow.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say about it?
No, I think that covers it.
Okay. All right. Join us next week when we talk about Sugar Creek Campground in Bucksnort, Tennessee. Oh, yeah. We can cut that out.
Oh, you think we're going to cut that out?
You get your own blooper reel? All right, what do we do again?
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're in it together.
We are in it together.